All right, I'm going to do a video here on a pretty amazing discovery that I made today. And it's about another Bible Mandela Effect, and it relates to this pretty obscure verse in the Bible that I wouldn't expect many people to know or think to examine any further to see if something like this had changed or not. But it relates pretty strongly to my personal experience here, and I think this video might be meaningful to other people to share what I found. So I was watching this video here on Bible Mandela verses. Now, I really like this individual's channel because they seem to have a very clear memory of how the Bible once read. Many of us might read over a verse that's changed, and how would we know? Unless you memorize the entire Bible, you're not going to know if a word has changed or a verse has changed. But this individual seems to be able to pick out verses that appear to be different from their memory. So, what would you do at that point? Well, if you know the words used to read a certain way, you can take that memorized line and plug it into a search engine, like a newspaper search engine, and see if that verse and that address has ever been used in a newspaper article. And that's what this individual does with this website. They have 179 videos of these changes that they were able to look up on newspaper search engines and find quite a bit of evidence that the verse that they're thinking of, that they know in their mind, once read a certain way, has indeed changed. So I'm going to look at here this video about 3 John verse 4. All right, so they start their video by highlighting that this is indeed a universal change. It's not a translation change or a Bible edition change. This is universal across all translations and all editions of the Bible. So they're on BibleGateway.com, and they're scrolling through this verse, which reads, "I have no greater joy than to hear that my children walk in truth," underlining the word hear. Now they seem to remember that the word used to be know, but as you can see as they scroll through, it is only the word hear, 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 hear. And if you even go back to the original Greek, it's going to be hear and not know. Now, at this point, they're showing you, oh, these are all newspaper hits that utilize the word know in this verse. Now, why would the author of these articles be using the word know if the word has always been hear? Well, that's where the Mandela Effect comes in. The verse used to read to know, and now it's changed to hear. And these examples go on and on. They probably have 30 of them or more. And every time they do a video, there are numerous examples. And they show the address, 3 John, verse 4, for many of these, not all, but a lot of them have 3 John, verse 4. So they're showing example after example of this verse, reading in newspapers, the way they remember it, using the words to know instead of to hear. Now here's where this relates to my own personal experience. Do I have this verse memorized? No. Would I be able to point this out if I read this and see that, that some kind of change has occurred? Probably not. But I did think about this. What if a book of the Bible changes in the future? Is there any way for me to document this, to maybe pick out a discrepancy? So what I did was copy and paste 3 John into a text document. And then I altered every other word, removing vowels. Now I'll show you. Here is what I did. About 2 years ago, this is such a short book. It's only like 200 words. It is the shortest book in the Bible, which when I was growing up, I always thought Philemon was the shortest book, but apparently 3 John has always been the shortest book in the Bible. And that itself could be a Mandela effect. I'm not really sure. But anyway, I copied and pasted it into this text document, and then I went through and I removed every line. I just made it a point to remove a vowel out of random words and replace it with an underscore, thinking that, well, if the Bible were to change in the future, would I be able to see some kind of discrepancy between this verse as I copied it and the Bible, or would this also change somehow? And now I have my answer. So what I'm going to show you is about a year ago, I went back and looked over 3rd John, and I discovered that some lines of text seem to have removed the edits that I made, these underscores that I replaced certain vowels with. So I highlighted it at the time. And what did I highlight? 3rd John, verse 4. I have no greater joy than to hear that my children are walking in the truth. Now, I thought that was unusual. Why? So this looks like I simply did not make an edit here. I didn't replace any vowels with underscores in this line of text. And I just know that's not something I would have done. I specifically looked very carefully over the entire copied portion of 3rd John to make sure every line is edited correctly so that I will be able to pick out any kind of subtle changes or any kind of subtle discrepancy if the verse were to change somehow in the future. And it has. My personal belief is that when I copied and pasted 3rd John into this text document, the word used to be no and not here. Then the Bible changed, as well as my copied and pasted portion here. However, my edits were then erased. So my personal opinion is this is one way to document ongoing changes. And I have I highlighted this portion in orange because this seemed to have occurred after. Highlighting in yellow, this was a time period after that. I believe these are underscores that would have been removed. And these portions of text no longer contain the edits that I once made. Now I know every line would have had certain vowels removed and underscores replaced. But I believe that the verse has changed and my edits have been erased. So I just thought this was particularly fascinating that this has changed. This portion appears to have been edited, and it seems to correlate directly with this person's finding about this verse and the newspaper residue that they were able to highlight for other people to see. That this verse has changed and other changes are continuing to occur, and if you want to see more of these examples, go ahead and look up their YouTube channel and you can see verse after verse after verse has been altered by the Mandela Effect, and it's ongoing. So thank you to Bible Mandela Verses for all the tireless work you do for this community, and I'll talk to you again soon. And let me know also what you think about this in the comments. Thanks.